Chapter 7. Dangerous Times. It is sad being in the doghouse. I feel as if I've been smacked in the nose, had my bones snatched away and been banished to my kennel. Magda and Nadine don't fall on me with open arms when I tell them I can come to the Claudie concert after all. Please, you're not doing us a favour, says Magda. You'd obviously far sooner go to this dance with the walking sketchbook, says Nadine. I have to breathe deeply and take it. I tell myself that they are my very special girlfriends and their love and support and companionship is of supreme importance to me, even though right this moment I want to slap Magda's smug face and pull Nadine's long witchy hair. But I keep my temper, and their own temper improves. By the end of the day, things are nearly back to normal, and we've all started to plan exactly what we're going to wear to the Claudie concert and how we're going to get there, though we're not quite clear which dad is going to be roped to do the ferrying about. I give both Magda and Nadine a quick hug when we say goodbye, and they both hug me back hard. I feel enormously relieved that we're all three best friends again, but now I've got to tell Russell. That is even worse. There's no real way of getting around it, and it's awful because the moment I see him at McDonald's, he starts chatting excitedly about the dance and how sad it is that half his mates can't get any girls to go with them and how great he feels that he can go with me. Don't feel too great, Russell, I say sadly. My tummy a tight knot. In fact, get ready to feel ultra small and seriously mad at me into the bargain. What's the matter, Ellie? Oh God, you can still come, can't you? Don't tell me your dad's put his oar in. He's got to let you come. I see a glimmer of a good way out. I'm so sorry, Russell. I'd give anything to come to the dance with you, but you're right, it is Dad. Oh no, but he seemed to get to like me after the first sticky 10 minutes. Why won't he let you? I think he can remember his school dances and the sort of things that went on. I lie smoothly. He's been so strict with me recently, Russell. I've tried and tried, but there's no way he'll budge. Oh, Dad, I'm sorry. I feel so mean, but it's the only way to smooth things over with Russell. How about if I go to see your dad and try to talk him round? Russell suggests. No, I think that would only make him worse, and he doesn't know I've even been seeing so much of you. No, please don't, Russell, I say, panicking. Then he'll really clamp down and stop me seeing you altogether. He's already got this total ban on me going out at night. But he was going to let you go to that concert, says Russell, eyes narrowing. Are you sure this isn't all just a mega excuse to get out of the dance so you can go off with your beloved girly friends? No, Russell, I don't tell lies. I lie, looking hurt. But you are still going to the concert, says Russell. Why did I even mention it to him? Well, maybe, I hedge. After all, Magda's dad got the tickets. It would be silly to waste it. And my dad doesn't mind because he'll drive us there and drive us back so he can keep an eye on us all the time. How about if he drives you and me to the dance and then drives us back? Then he can keep an eye on us, says Russell. I don't think that's quite the same. No, things aren't quite the same, Russell says, and I don't like the way he says it. He doesn't suggest we go to the park. He doesn't suggest we go anywhere. We sit in McDonald's for half an uncomfortable hour, and then Russell looks at his watch, ostentatiously. Gosh, is that the time? I'd better get back. I've got heaps of homework to do tonight. You're mad at me, aren't you? I mumble. No, really, it's okay. I understand, he says, sounded like he doesn't understand at all. I feel so mean letting you down. Well, Russell shrugs his shoulders. Maybe I'll find someone else to go to the dance with me. I feel as if he slapped me in the face. I stand up feeling sick. Right, I say. Well, see you. Yeah, see you, says Russell. We both know what this means. We won't see each other. Ever again. I try to tell myself that if he can be so mean and petty just because I can't go to his dance, then he really is not worth bothering about. He's not worth it. That's right, I shall go to the Claudie concert with my two best girlfriends in all the world and we'll have a great time. It's no use. I wish I hadn't said no to Russell. He is worth it. I care about him. I love him. I go straight home. I go straight home from school the next day too. There's no point going to McDonald's. Nadine and Magda are sisterly and supportive. It doesn't really help. In afternoon art the next day, Mr. Windsor is still into myths and legends. I draw a sad, silly Psyche, drooping miserably because she can't see Cupid. Mr. Windsor is very complimentary, but for once, this doesn't mean much. He admires Nadine's Circe too, but barely glances at Magda's Venus, mumbling, very good, and edging past quickly. Magda does her best to maintain her cool, but her face is as red as her hair. She rushes out of class without waiting for us. Don't you rush off too, Ellie, says Nadine. I need you to be there just in case. Well, you know, if Liam's there. Oh, Nadie, I say, giving her a little pat. But it isn't Liam who's waiting at the gate. It's Russell, and he's talking to Magda. I feel dizzy. Maybe he's always liked Magda. Everyone else does. Maybe he's asking her out instead of me. Maybe he's asking her to the dance. I grab Nadine's arm. It's okay, Ellie, she says, peering over at the wall where Liam used to wait. He's not there. Russell is, I hiss urgently, only he's chatting up Magda. Hang on to me tonight. Tight, Nadine. I want to walk right past as if I haven't even noticed them. Nadine, stop staring. But I can't help staring too. Magda's smiling at Russell. She's looking right into his eyes, and he's looking back eagerly, hungrily, like she's the juiciest ice lolly in the freezer, and he wants to lick her all up. I can't believe it, I say. How could he? How could she? She doesn't even like him. She told me she was amazed you were so dotty about him. She said she thought he was a snotty little creep, says Nadine. He's not a snotty little creep, I say, outraged. Then I see him smile at Magda and my stomach turns over. Yes, he is. Look, take my arm, Ellie. Come on. We'll whiz past them quick. You hold your head up high. Don't say a word to Russell or Magda. We're not going to speak to her at all. And she's supposed to be your friend. Nadine leads me across the playground, although my legs have turned to jelly. I wobble all over. I try to set my face in a mould, but as we get close up, everything threatens to melt and run. Ellie, it's Russell, smiling at me. The nerve. I walk past, my head held high. Ellie, it's Magda, and she's smiling too. My eyes sting. It's bad enough that Russell could betray me, but I can't bear it that my best friend Magda could do this to me, and so blatantly too. Ellie, stop, wait. I want to talk to you, Russell says, hurrying after me. Well, she doesn't want to talk to you, says Nadine, elbowing him out of the way. Ellie, Nadine, what's up with you two, says Magda, dodging around the other side. What's up with you, says Nadine. How could you, Magda? How could I what? Here's me doing my best to act like Cupid, helping these two idiots get it together again, and you act like I've done something dreadful. I stop. Nadine stops. Magda stops. Russell hovers while we three girls stare at each other. What are you on about, Magda? Says Nadine. Russell stopped me as I came out of school and asked me how Ellie was and whether she was still mad at him. He'd hung around McDonald's for hours yesterday and she didn't show, so he wanted to know if she might be willing to make it up or had he blown it forever. I said I thought she was still crazy about him and pretty miserable at the moment, and that she'd be more than willing to make it up. But then you two sweep past with your noses in the air, not even speaking. I can't work out why. I mean, don't speak to Russell if you don't want to, Ellie, but don't take it out on me. Oh, Mags, says Nadine, you'll never guess what Ellie thought. You thought it too, I say, weak with relief. You thought what? Says Magda. Nothing, I say quickly, because Russell is in earshot. I turn to look at him. He looks at me. I feel like I'm the ice lolly now, melting. Go on, you two. Go and enjoy your romantic reunion. Have a happy little snog in McDonald's, says Magda. French kiss over the French fries. Blush amongst the burgers. Cuddle over the cokes. Sauce the ice cream with your sweet talk. Froth the coffee with your feverish embraces. Shut up, you two, I say, but fondly. They're such sweet friends, and so is Russell. When we get away by ourselves at last, he says he's really sorry he said he'd take someone else to the dance. I just wanted to hurt you, Ellie. It was stupid. You didn't believe it, did you? Of course I didn't, I insist. Oh, Russell, I'm still so sorry I've let you down over the dance. Well, it's not like it's this super cool, ultra great social date. It's just a school dance. It'll probably be a totally sad, embarrassing occasion, so maybe it's just as well you're not coming. Maybe we could go to some other dance together. Sure, that would be great. Though actually I can't dance very well. I sort of fling my arms and legs around and look like a total prat. Maybe if you saw me, you'd go off me instantly. Always assuming that you're on me, of course. You're the one who went off me. You were really mad at me last time. You were the one who didn't turn up at McDonald's. I waited hours. You didn't suggest meeting there. I didn't think you'd go. I didn't think you wanted to see me again. I do. I do too. Want to see you. Oh, Ellie. Russell suddenly pulls me close, right there in the street. I don't care who's watching. I fling my arms around his neck. There's a toot on a car horn. Eleanor Allard. Oh my God. Mrs. Henderson is leaning out of her car window. Put that boy down at once, she calls, and then she winds up her window and drives off. Oh, says Russell sheepishly. Who was that? One of your mum's friends? Mrs. Henderson's my form teacher, I say, hoarse with shock. Your teacher? Wow, she's a good sport. I suppose she is, I say. But the next day Mrs. Henderson gives me a half-hour lecture about decorous behaviour out in the street in school uniform. I'm very glad she didn't come across Russell and me later on by the allotments. So you're all lovey-dovey with the walking sketchbook again, says Nadine. Don't call him that, Naddy. His name's Russell, I say, nudging her. I give Magda a nudge too. What's all this about you calling Russell a snotty little creep? Me? Says Magda, all outraged innocence. Look, I'm the Cupid who brought you two together again. I can't believe how good it feels to be together again with Russell, and with Magda and Nadine. I'm so happy, hippy, hoppy happy, I sing in the shower on the day of Claudie's concert. It's this silly little song she's tacked on to the end of her album. It goes on, I don't need the love of a good man. I don't need the love of a bad man. I don't need the love of any man at all, 'cause I'm HAPPY, etc., etc. But that's not the way I sing it. I invent my own version. I do need the love of a good man, though I don't need the love of a bad man. I do need the love of my man Russell, 'cause I'm HAPPY, hippy, hoppy, happy. The shower is full on, so I don't think anyone can hear me. I am wrong. I'm so DIRTY, dippy, dotty, dirty, Dad bawls from the other side of the bathroom door. I do need the scrub of a good soap. I do need the scrub of any kind of soap. I do need the scrub of ANY soap at all, 'cause my daughter's in the shower and she won't let me in, so I'm so DIRTY, dippy, dotty, dirty. Dad, I say, emerging blushing in my bath towel. Do you have to listen? Ellie, says Dad, gently pulling a lock of my wet hair. Can I help listening when you're singing Fit to Bust, a daughter diva of the shower stall? But hey, I'm glad you're happy. Now, what are the plans for the concert tonight? Is Nadine's dad driving you or Magda's? I'm sorry. I've got this stupid meeting at the college. Magda's dad's taking us, I say. Poor guy, says Dad gratefully. I owe him. But when I get to school, Magda says her dad can't manage it after all, because the wheel shaft went on his car last night, and it'll need to be in the garage for a couple of days. We look expectantly at Nadine. Oh, help, she says. Dad always takes Natasha and Mum to their loopy line dancing on Friday nights. Well, my dad's got this meeting and needs the car, so Anna can't drive us. She's stuck with eggs, and she's knitting 999 stupid sweaters every evening anyway, I say. We ponder. Tell you what, says Magda. We'll take ourselves. Train and then tube. Couldn't be simpler. Couldn't be harder, says Nadine. My mum won't let me. I don't think Anna will either, I say. Well, getting there's okay. It's coming back late at night. Won't your mum mind, Mags? Sure, but she won't know. She thinks your dad's taking us, Ellie. Your folks think Ellie's dad's taking us too. Nadine and Ellie, you say my dad's taking us. Then they don't have to worry and we can push off and have fun. Great, says Nadine, though she looks worried. Perfect, I say, though I'm fussed about having to tell a whole load of lies all over again. So it's all settled, says Magda. We'll meet up at 6, right? At the railway station. Don't worry about cash. Ellie, you can borrow off me. It'll be fantastic. A real girls' night out. So that's exactly what we do. Nadine's at the station first, looking great in black, with new black shoes, with huge heels so that she's taller than ever. I'm going to have to carry a little collapsing ladder and clamber up it every time I need to talk to you, I complain. You make me feel littler and dumpier than ever. Don't be daft, Ellie. You look great, says Nadine. I've certainly done my best, trying on half my clothes before plumping, horribly ominous word, for my black trousers and silver grey top. I suppose I do look plump. If only I was lithe and long and lean like Nadine. But at least Russell doesn't seem to mind. He phoned me when I was getting dressed. I'm just phoning to wish you a good time at the concert, he said. If I ever get there, I can't decide what to wear. I'm half in and half out of my trousers at the moment. Oh, help. You better not tell me any more. You're dangerously inflaming me. Calm down, Russell. It's not a pretty sight. You're a very pretty sight. I think you look wonderful in your trousers, and even more gorgeous half in them. Which half? Oh, shut up. Though you're very sweet. I'm wearing your hair slides. They're really great. You're really great, Russell. There was a sudden, totally disgusting mock vomiting sound. Eggs had crept up behind me and was groaning and gagging. Ellie, are you okay? Russell sounded alarmed. I'm fine. However, my little brother Eggs is going to be minus his head in a millisecond, I said. Anyway, enjoy the dance, Russell. I'm really, really sorry I'm not going with you. I know exactly where you're going to go with me to make it up to me, he said, chuckling mysteriously. I'll go anywhere with you, Russell, I said, provoking Eggs into such an orgy of mock vomiting he nearly made himself really sick. I didn't tear his head off his shoulders. I felt so great, I just laughed at him. I feel great now. I don't care if I look great, as in enormous. I'm so HAPPY. I sing again, and Nadine harmonises with me. We're not feeling quite so harmonious after another 10 minutes have gone by. Magda still hasn't turned up, and she's got the tickets for the Claudie concert. Why is she always late, I say? Maybe she's got distracted chatting up some boys, says Nadine. You know what she's like. How about you, Nadine? I asked gently. Are you over Liam once and for all? Now, ready to do some chatting up yourself? Sure, says Nadine firmly. But when a boy with dark hair and wicked eyes comes sauntering out of the station, his arm around some girl, Nadine's head jerks and she turns white. I look at the boy too. It's not Liam, I say. I know. I just thought it might be, says Nadine. Oh, Nadie, you know exactly what he's like now. You've got to forget about him. You'll meet someone else soon. I don't think I'll ever meet anyone like Liam, says Nadine. Not that I'd want to, of course. I hope Nadine means it. She looks a bit down, so I change the subject. Where is Magda, I say? Why does she always do this to us? Hi, you two. It's Magda, running wiggle-waggle up to see us in her high heels, coyly waving to two grinning boys who are eyeing her up and down. Sorry, I am a bit late, Magda asks, infuriatingly. It was just Warren came round to borrow a tie from one of my brothers, and I've always had a bit of a crush on him. He used to be at school with my brother, right? Hey, you should see his hair. He's got totally cool new haircut, so he looks a total dish. And this evening, when he saw me all dressed up to go to the concert, it was like he'd suddenly seen me for the first time. I wasn't just this silly little schoolgirl. And you'll never guess where he's going tonight. Would you believe he's got this scholarship to Halma High sixth form, and he's going to the dance? And guess what again? He broke up with his girlfriend a couple of months ago, and so he was all set to go by himself. But when we got talking, Warren and me, he asked if I'd like to go to the dance by any chance. Get that? I was ever so tempted, actually. What? I say. Magda grins. But then I thought to myself it wouldn't be sisterly. I explained I couldn't possibly let my girlfriends down. He was ever so disappointed, but said he understood. And guess what yet again? He's asked me out tomorrow night. A real date. A special meal out. At the Terrazza. The Italian place. It's ever so posh. Bit of a change from a burger and McDonald's, eh? Lucky old you, I say a little sourly. Yes, you don't have to go on about it, says Nadine. Have you remembered the Claudie tickets? Of course I have. Cheer up, you two. It's our girls' night out, right? We do cheer up on the train, messing around and singing Claudie songs. We got on the wrong tube at Waterloo and have to catch another tube back to where we started. And then we bump into some silly middle-aged business blokes and get a fit of the giggles. And then we're not quite sure where to go when we get out of the tube station, and we wander around for a while until Magda chats up a policeman and he escorts us all the way up to the road. Time is getting on and we're all starting to worry we might miss the beginning of the concert. I want Magda and Nadine to run, but it's like they're both on stilts with their high heels, so we don't make much progress. We turn into the main street and see lots of people wearing Claudie t-shirts, which is reassuring until we realise they all seem to be walking away from the concert hall. What's up? Where are you going? Isn't the Claudie concert this way? Magda asks a group of girls. She's cancelled it, says one girl miserably. What? Why? Is she sick? Sick in the head, more like, says another girl, looking angry. What are you on about, says Nadine. What's the matter with Claudie, I ask. She's got this boyfriend, right? It was all over the papers last month. Some yobby football player not good enough to kiss her fingertips, says a third girl, pulling at her Claudie t-shirt in distress so that Claudie's image lengthens into a comical grimace. So? It's not a crime to have a boyfriend. It's Frankie Dobson, isn't it? I think he's pretty tasty myself, says Magda. Oh, right, so I suppose you think he's just being all masterful now he's told Claudie she has to quit singing, says the t-shirt girl. She has to quit? Because he says so. But why? He went to her concert in Manchester last night, and it was a big success. One of my friends was there, and she phoned me up and told me all about it. The hall was packed out with fans, and Claudie sang all her best popular numbers, the really stirring stuff. Everyone cheered their heads off. This stupid Frankie couldn't take it. He thought all the songs were an insult to him because lots of them are about independence and women not needing men. So he gave Claudie an ultimatum. If she didn't pull out of her concert tour and stop singing all her very best songs, he'd leave her. So why didn't she tell him where to get off, says Magda. Exactly. But astonishingly, she said he meant so much to her that her career wasn't anything without him. Claudie wouldn't say that, I protest. She's a total feminist icon. It would go against absolutely everything she's ever sung about. That's what I thought, even though it was front page news in the tabloids this morning. So we came along to the concert hoping it was all some stupid rumour, even a publicity stunt. But it's true. The concert's off. She's pulled out the whole tour, just like he said. I still can't believe it. We go to the concert hall to see for ourselves. There's just little stickers on every Claudie poster saying, cancelled due to illness. Perhaps she really is ill, I say, because Claudie is my heroine, and I'm word perfect in every song, and I've taken on board everything she's ever said, and I feel as if she's deliberately let me down. But when Magda goes to the ticket office to try to claim a refund, the guy behind the desk confirms everything those other girls said. You'll have to write in for your refund. Claudie's left us in the lurch, and we haven't got enough cash to give out to everyone. The girl's crazy, wrecking her career for that Frankie. He can't leave the girls alone. He'll be off with some new trophy blonde before Claudie has time to turn around. And then where will she be? How can she do this to herself, I say, practically in tears. Cheer up, Ellie. We'll find you someone else to go crazy about, says Magda. What are we going to do now, says Nadine. I want to listen to some music. There must be something else on somewhere. How about coming to listen to us? We all spin around. There's a group of boys looking up at us. Reasonably hip guys, though one's very gothic. with long black hair and chunky silver jewellery. Nadine stares at him dazzled. So, like, you're a band, Nadine says. Sure. I'm not so sure. Come on, Nadine, I say. But it's a waste of breath. Magda's smiling too, her head on one side. A band, eh, she says. What are you called? Well, we've gone through a lot of changes. We're just this little indie band at the moment. We've toyed with the name indie because I'm Dave and he's Ian and he's Ewan, so we're almost there with our initials. I'm lead guitar, he's bass, and Ewan's the drummer. We just need to find some guy called Neville or Neil or something to be the lead singer. He looks at Nadine, or a girl, of course, called Nadine. Yuck, I can't believe his corny old chat-up line, but Nadine seems to be falling for it. She's tossing her hair and looking up at him through her long eyelashes. Are you really looking for a singer, she says. Sure, so why don't you come back to my place and have a little jam session with the band? I can't sing, says Nadine. Too right she can't. I stand next to her in singing lessons, so I should know. I can sing okay, says Magda. So you come too, Scarlett, says the fair guy. Ewan, the drummer. What's your singing like then, babe, says Ian, the bass guitarist, looking at me. I can't stand guys who call you babe, like you're the pig in that sweet little kids film. Ian looks a bit like a pig himself, with a snub snouty nose and a bit of a belly. We've got to get home, I say firmly. Come on, Magda. Come on, Nadine. Magda shrugs and waves at the guys, but Nadine is still staring awestruck at Gothic Dave. I like your ring, she says, nodding at the big silver skulls. Do you want to try one on? He says, offering it to her. Wow, it's wonderful. I'd give anything for this sort of jewellery, says Nadine. I've got all sorts back home, crosses and stuff. Come and see. We could try out your voice. You certainly look the part, doesn't she, you guys? Nadine looks pleadingly at me. Shall we, Ellie? Just for a little while. I shake my head at her, astonished. Go on. Our van's just round the corner. My van, says Ewan, as if he thinks we'll be impressed. He looks hopefully at Magda. Dave's gaff is only 10 minutes away. You'll come, won't you? Magda's starting to see sense now. Maybe not, fellows, she says. She links into my arm and jerks her head at Nadine. Come on, Nad. Nadine looks at us. She looks at Dave. She nibbles her lip, hesitating. She looks down, her long hair falling over her face. Nadine, I say. You do what your mates tell you, do you, Nadine? Says Dave, and he gently pushes her hair back so that he can see her face. Not always, says Nadine, going pink. I'll come to your place then, Dave. She stares defiantly at Magda and me. How about if I meet you back at the station at 11, okay? We stare at her as if she's gone completely crazy. Is she really serious? She's willing to go off with these 3 complete strangers in a van. Nadine, please, I hiss. But I know just how stubborn she can be. And she's always been so mad about weird indie bands. I suppose this is like her dream come true. Only she can't see that it could easily turn into a nightmare. We can't let her go off in this van on her own, Magda whispers to me. She's totally nuts. We'll have to go with her to make sure she's all right. Oh, Mags, this is crazy. I agree, but if we can still all stick together, we should be okay. Well, sort of. Magda, it's kind of a chance of a lifetime though, isn't it? I mean, suppose they eventually make it big and Nadine gets to be the lead singer or me. I don't know what to do. They've both gone completely loopy. Nadine's already walking off with Dave's skull and Magda's smiling at Ewan drummer, asking him where his van is parked. I ignore Piggy Ian and slope off after the others miserably. The van is an awful old thing, really bashed in and filthy dirty. Magda looks a bit put out and even Nadine wavers. I grab her quickly. Nadine, we can't go in that van with them. We haven't got a clue who they are, I hiss at her. We do know who they are. They're these guys in this band, says Nadine. They're probably making it all up, and even if they have got a band, they'll never let you sing in it, idiot. I don't see why not, Nadine says, looking hurt. Anyway, I want to see all Dave's stuff. Isn't he fantastic? I'm crazy about him. You've only been talking to him 2 minutes. Look, Ellie, you were the one telling me I'd meet someone special soon. You predicted it. Yes, but I didn't predict you'd let yourself get picked up by a complete stranger. You did, with Russell. That's different. He's different. Exactly. He's a silly little school kid. These guys are amazing, says Nadine. I don't know how to get through to her. What little brain she has seems to have shrunk to pea size, rattling around in her obstinate skull like the silver ones grinning on the Dave guy's fingers. He's got hold of Nadine now. Come on, babe, he says, and he holds open the back door of the van for her. She smiles up at him and climbs inside. Magda shakes her head up at me. We'll have to go too, she says. I know, but it's mad. We're mad if we go. Come on, Scarlett, in you get, says Ewan, brushing his fair hair out of his eyes. I suppose he's quite good looking if you like that type. Magda's starting to look like she does. Maybe it's time to live a little dangerously, she says, and she gets in the van too. So I follow them and get in the van, though I know this is a big mistake. Chapter 8. Running Out of Time. Dave doesn't live 10 minutes away. Ewan drives for at least half an hour. I haven't got a clue where we are. I can't believe this is happening. Magda is reasonably okay because she's sitting in the front of the van with Ewan, and he's got to keep at least one arm on the steering wheel. But I'm in the back with Ian and Nadine and Dave. Nadine and Dave start acting like a couple almost straight away. Nadine's proving she's no marble pillar. I don't know where to look. I definitely don't look at Ian. He doesn't seem very interested in me, and yet when I fall against him as Ewan rounds a corner too sharply, he hangs on to me, trying to pull me close. Don't, I say, trying to wriggle away. What's up with you? I only want to be friendly, he says. I don't want to be friendly. I'm in a relationship already, I say primly. So? I am too. Come on, let's get cozy, eh? No thanks. Okay, be like that. You're just a silly little kid. Why can't you be more like your mates? At least they're having a bit of fun. What a pig. I imagine his snout rootling in the mud, his big pink pig belly smeared all over. Magda isn't having fun anyway. She laughs at stuff Ewan says, but then she looks suddenly outraged and flounces away from him, as he's obviously gone too far. Nadine's starting to look worried too. She keeps trying to wriggle free. Where on earth are we? She says desperately. We've been driving ages. We're very nearly there. Just around the next corner, says Dave's skull. And the next, and the next, and the next. And then eventually Ewan slows down and we drive slowly through a seedy council estate with boarded up shops, overflowing dustbins, and a few scraggy boys sucking on cans of lager like babies with bottles. We're here, says Dave. Here, says Nadine, staring out dazed. You don't live here, do you, Dave? For the first time in her life, she sounds just a little bit like her mum. What's up, sweetheart? Don't you like life when it's a little on the wild side, says Dave. Come on, out you get. Magda and I look at each other, trying to work out what on earth to do now. Nadine is whiter than usual, her lipstick smeared all over her chin. Oh, help, she whispers. Maybe this wasn't such a good idea after all. This is the scariest place I've ever been. The boys, drinking lager, yell ugly stuff at Magda when she wriggles out the van. She reacts with her fingers, but this just encourages them. Hey, clear off your Berks, says Dave Skull. Well, that's approximately what he says. He's got hold of Nadine again, so she can't run away. He can see she's having second thoughts. Third, fourth, fifth thoughts. I didn't realise it had got so late, Nadine says. I'm sorry, but I think we really ought to get back now. We'll take you back later on. Let's go and play a little music, eh? I can't sing at all, actually, says Nadine. Never mind. I'm sure you can dance. I'd like to watch you dance, Nadine. Yeah, sure you would, says Magda. Look, we have to get back now. Keep your hair on, Scarlett, says Ewan. We'll take you back later. Come and strut your stuff first. We want to hear you sing too. I'm not in a singing mood anymore, says Magda. Then we'll have a little drink first. Loosen you up. Yeah, we'll have a little party, right, Dave? You bet. You're on, says Pig Ian. We look at them. They look at us. Okay, just one drink, says Magda. No, I hiss. Let's just run off, please. But Magda's looking around at the guys, at the boys drinking lager, at the bleak stone walkways. If we try to make a run for it now, they'll catch us, and then they might get really ugly. We'd better go up with them, and then clear off as soon as we can, Magda mutters. I'm sorry, Nadine wails. It's all my fault. What are you girls whispering about, eh? Says Dave. Come on, follow me. So we do, because there doesn't seem to be any other alternative. They take us in a stinking lift up to the top floor, swooping up so fast I feel sick. It's a relief to step out into fresh air, but the view over the balcony makes me dizzy. I hold the rail tight, little flecks of rust embedding themselves in my palms. The buildings below don't look real. I feel I could jump from roof to roof as if they were stepping stones. Quite a view, isn't it? Says Ian Pig, standing close behind me. I try to shuffle away from him, pressing against the cold concrete. Space whirls in front of me. I look down at the tiny toy world below. The pig rootles nearer. Blood starts drumming in my head. My knees won't lock to hold my legs straight. He puts his damp hands on my shoulders, gripping tight. I give a little squeak. Scary, eh? He says. Don't worry, I'll keep you safe. You let her go, says Nadine, looking wretched. He's only teasing, says Dave Skull. In you come then. I suppose we were hoping it might be better inside. Maybe painted black like Nadine's own bedroom, with Gothic decorations and silver candlesticks and weird posters. But it's just a bleak, bare wreck of a flat, smelling of drink and cigarette smoke. Hey, no one pretended it was House Beautiful, says Dave, seeing our faces. He's picking up a ropey old guitar, but his strumming doesn't sound very skilled. Are you going to sing, Nadine? He says. She shakes her head nervously. How about you, Scarlett? Says Ewan, sitting on the sofa and slapping his knees as if they were a drum kit. Somehow, I'm not in the singing mood, she says. Sure, but we'll fix that, says Dave, nodding at Ian. Get us all a drink, eh? Just one, says Magda. She's looking at the door, obviously wondering if it might be better to make a dash for it as I suggested. Dave Skull sees she's looking at the door too. He stops strumming, strolls down the hall, takes out his key and double locks the door. Then he puts the key in the pocket of his jeans, grinning. So this is it. We're really trapped now. Nobody knows where we are. Our families think we're at the Claudie concert and we're being driven home afterwards. They won't worry about us for hours. And what can they do when they eventually phone around and find out we're missing? How can anyone ever find us? We don't even know where we are. I feel sick. I wonder if I'm actually going to throw up. I mutter something about needing the loo and find the right door. I flop inside the dank little room, desperately trying to think what to do. If only we were at Claudie's concert, enjoying our girls' night out. This is all a crazy nightmare, and it's getting worse and worse and worse. I join the others in the dingy living room. Ian Pigg has got his guitar now, though they're certainly no real band. They've opened up some cans of beer. Magda and Nadine are clutching a can each. Come on, girls, drink up, says Dave Scull. He tosses me a can of beer too. I hold it helplessly. What's up? Don't you like the taste, he says. I know what you might like more. He brings a bottle of vodka out of a cupboard. Here, have a little swig of that. It'll help you relax. He passes it to me. I don't drink, actually. All the boys laugh unpleasantly. This one doesn't do much, says Piggy Ian. Ewan tries to pull Magda on his lap. She bats him off fiercely. Maybe this is a big mistake, he says. They're just silly little schoolgirls. Nadine's cool, aren't you, babe, says Dave. Hey, you want to see the rest of my jewellery? Come through here. He gestures towards the bedroom. I think I'm okay here, thanks, Nadine says in a tiny voice. Dave hands the vodka to her, and she takes a little swig and then chokes. I'll have some too, says Magda, taking the bottle. She doesn't drink a drop, keeping her lips tightly closed as she tilts the bottle up in the air. There, she says, wiping her mouth as if she's just downed a triple measure. That's better. Hey, how about you guys putting some music on your CD player? Then we can all play and sing along and we won't feel so self-conscious. It helps a little to have the music blaring. The three guys down their beers and pass the vodka round. We pretend to swig from the bottle too. Magda's doing her best to lighten things up. Nadine keeps trying to edge away from Dave's skull. Hang on, he says, going to his bedroom. He brings back a little bag. Oh, God. Drugs. Yeah, great idea, says Nadine. I stare at her in horror, but she gives me a little wink. It's just a quick flicker of her eyelid, but it's enough. Magda's watching too and gives a nod. We watch while Dave Scull and Ewan Drum and Ian Pigg start rolling special cigarettes. Dave lights his, takes a deep drag and then passes it to Nadine. Cool, she says, getting up. She wanders over to the window. This is such a great view, she says, turning her back as she stares out. She seems to be taking a deep drag, but I think she's bluffing. Magda joins her at the window. My turn, she says, pretending to take a drag herself. Before I can join them, Pig Ian is by my side. Don't say you're into a little light relaxation, Miss Priss, he says. I giggle foolishly, trying not to antagonise him. Here, I'll show you how to do it, he says, taking the roll-up from Magda and waving it in front of me. Sure, great, in a minute, I say, jumping up. I've just got to go to the loo. You've only just been. What's the matter with you? He says, taking a long drag himself. I've got a little bug, I say. I'll be right back. I go out into the hall and stand in the loo again, trying to think of some way we can get out. I look up at the window. It's too high up, too small. But much, much too small. I could stand on the toilet, but I could only get my arm out of the window. My head wouldn't fit through, let alone my body. But maybe we could get out of another window. I creep out of the loo and tiptoe across the hall to the kitchen. There are two large windows above the block sink. One hitch up onto the draining board. I could make it, and Nadine, and Magda. I think. I run the water tap. I splash it on my face. I throw cold water over my lovely pearl grey shirt. Then I take a deep breath and call. Magda, Nadine, can you come out here and help me a minute? Pig Ian comes out. What's up with you, little priss? He says blearily. What are you yelling for? Oh, please, don't look at me. I've been sick, I say. It must have been the vodka. I don't want you to see me like this. Not till I've cleaned myself up. I need my friends. They've got tissues and stuff. God, you really are a kid, says Pig Ian disgustedly. Okay, I'll get your mates. He goes, and Nadine and Magda come running. Have you been sick, Ellie? Magda says. This is all my fault, Nadine weeps. Shh, quick, shut the door. We'll get out of the window, I hiss. Wow, great thinking. Easier said than done, I gasp, hooking my leg way up onto the draining board and trying to heave myself up after it. Magda gives me a push. Nadine gives me a shove, and I'm suddenly up on the draining board. I grab hold of the window handle. The whole window frame is rotting, and at first it sticks. I pull and tug at it, hurting my hand, and then take off my shoe and give it a last desperate bang. It moves, and the window opens. Nadine is already up beside me, and she helps haul Magda up. Oh, help, I say. It's a long way to jump. We're all going to break our legs. I'd sooner break my neck than stay locked up with these creeps, says Magda, and she jumps first. She lands like a little cat, not even tottering in spite of her high heels. Nadine goes next, arms and legs kicking out wildly. She ends up on her bottom, but manages to scramble up again, unhurt. My go. Oh God. I stare straight out into empty space. What if I misjudge my jump, leap a little too far, and hurtle right over the balcony? I clench my sweaty fists. Quick, Ellie, Nadine hisses. Jump like Mrs. Henderson says. Bend your knees and spring, Magda calls. I jump. I bend. I don't exactly spring. I stumble and hobble and trip, but I'm down, safe on the cold concrete walkway. Right, let's get out of here, says Magda, pressing the lift button. At least they're all pretty wrecked. It'll take them a while to react, says Nadine. Come on, lift, I say, jabbing at the button. Nothing happens. We keep peering around desperately at their door. They'll be after us any minute. I think we better make a run for it, down all the stairs, I say. So we run along the walkway, making for the staircase. Something feels funny. I'm all uneven, hobbling sideways. Did I twist my ankle? Then I realise. My shoe. I left it in their kitchen. Well, we're not going back for it now, Magda gasps. They were my best shoes from Shelley's, I moan. I'll save up and buy you a new pair, Ellie, Nadine puffs. And I'll buy you some too, Magda. Name your prezi, anything to make it up to you. Should we try the lift again on the next floor down, says Magda. But what if they've got into it up at the top, I say. Help. Yes, okay, well, down we go. Down and down and down and down. My tights are already ripped. My foot gets sorer each time it slaps down on the cold concrete. My knees ache. My chest hurts. I'm gasping for breath, and we're not even halfway down. Down and down and down and down. I'm wet with sweat, my hair hanging wildly, one pearly hair slide dangling loose. I snatch it up, terrified of losing it. I think of Russell. Down and down, unable to breathe, my foot hurting so. What if they're coming after us? What will they do to us now if they catch us? Quick! Can't go any quicker, Nadine gasps. I'll never go to another step class again, Magda moans. Down and down and down and down. And then suddenly we round the last corner and we're there, out into the courtyard, on ground level at last. This way, says Magda, forging forward. No, wait, keep to the edges so that if they look down they won't see us, I say. We skirt around the sides of the tower block, legs still wobbling after all those hundreds of stairs. Which is the way we came in? Can't remember. It doesn't matter, let's just get out. We scuttle on, ducking through an archway, round a corner, and then suddenly stumble upon the lager lads. Hey look, it's them stupid stuck-up birds. There's the one that gave me the finger. I'll have her. I'll have the one with the big what's-is, says another, making a grab at me. My hand flies out, hitting his face. He screams and staggers, clutching his head. His mates stare at him in astonishment. Quick, I say, and we start running again. We run right around the estate before we spot an exit, and then we're right out in the road at long last. Where now, I gasp. We'll make for the nearest tube, says Magda. You certainly gave that guy a brilliant punch in the face, Ellie, says Nadine. It wasn't a punch, it was a jab, I say, showing them my hair slide. You should have jabbed the guys in the flat too, said Magda. No, they could have got really, really nasty, says Nadine. Hey, none of this seems real, does it, I say. I mean, we should all be watching the Claudie concert, not wandering unknown streets with mad drunk druggies in hot pursuit. Don't, says Nadine, looking nervously over her shoulder. I can't believe I could have been so stupid. Thanks so much for sticking with me, you two. That's what girlfriends are for, says Magda. Hey, where on earth are we? Maybe we're not on Earth. Maybe we stepped into an alternative time just before the Claudie concert. I mean, does it seem real that Claudie would give up her whole singing career for some inadequate boyfriend? No. In real time, she's singing away and we're all singing along with her in the concert hall, right? But now we're stuck in this spooky time on a dead-end planet and we're going to be lost forever, meeting up with all these threatening, creepy guys. As I'm saying these very words, a couple of drunk men come lurching out a pub door and bump right into us. We all shriek. Hey, sorry girls. Didn't hurt you, did we? Had one too many. A few too many. Where are you off to, eh? Shouldn't be out late by yourselves, nice little girls like you. We don't need to be told this. They seem relatively harmless, but we don't want to take any risks. We run for it. I feel like I've been in a 24-hour marathon aerobics class, I puff, when we're right down the street and round the corner. Mrs. Henderson would be proud of us, Nadine gasps. Mrs. Henderson would be deeply ashamed of us because we seem to have been behaving like ninnies all night, I say, slowing down. Look, it's daft just wandering. Let's ask someone where the tube is. There's a late-night video shop on the corner, so we dodge in and ask. The man behind the counter shakes his head. Sorry, girls, there's no tubes around this area. You could get a bus into central London, but I'm not quite sure of the times, and there's been a lot of rowdy behaviour on the buses when the pubs come out. I wouldn't like a daughter of mine to be on one. Oh, help. What should we do now, says Magda. Maybe we're going to have to phone our dads, I say. My dad will kill me, says Nadine. And mine, says Magda. Mine too, I say, but we can't wander the streets all night long, can we? What about getting a taxi, says Nadine. Only I haven't got any spare cash. Neither have I say. We both look hopefully at Magda. I haven't got enough for a taxi right across London and all the way home, she says. But maybe we could get a taxi back into town to the nearest tube, and we've got our train tickets. What time does the last train go? I ask anxiously. I don't know, but it must be quite late, says Magda. We're quite late already, says Nadine. We're always late in this alternative reality, I say. Shut up, Ellie. It's spooky enough without you making stuff up, says Magda. At least we've got each other, says Nadine, linking arms with both of us. Only there are replicants in this alternative world. Maybe one of us is a replacement, I say. Maybe it's you, Nadine, and you were deliberately plotting our downfall with those creeps. Or maybe it's you, Magda, and you're going to jump in a taxi by yourself and abandon Nadine and me. Or maybe it's me. You're a one-off, Ellie. They could never program a replicant as weird and wacky as you, says Magda, and then she suddenly starts jumping up and down and waving her arms in the air. I'm wacky, I say. It's a taxi, Magda shrieks. We all jump up and down and wave our arms in the air, and it stops and we jump in. I'm terribly afraid we haven't got much cash on us, Magda starts. Well, I'm terribly afraid you'll have to pile straight out of my cab again, says the taxi driver, but his eyes are twinkling. You crazy girls. Right, how much cash? How far do you need to go? Magda waves a £5 note and Nadine and I come up with a few coins. That's a fair kitty, says the taxi driver, but he whistles an alarm when Magda tells him where we live. No way, girls. I wouldn't take you that far even if you had the cash. Just to the nearest tube station? Magda asks. Now you're talking. And then, will you get the train from Waterloo? That's what we're hoping. Do you know what time the last train goes? I'm not too sure. I'd better step on it, eh, girls? You've got train tickets already, have you? Oh, yes, I say. And then panic when I can't find mine in my pocket. Help! Where is it, I say, rummaging around. You seem like the forgetful type, says the taxi driver. Couldn't help noticing you've forgotten one of your shoes. I wiggle my poor cold foot in its tattered tight. Well, I didn't exactly forget it, I say. It was all my fault, Nadine sighs. You girls haven't been in any real trouble, have you? The taxi driver asks. Well, nearly, I say, but we escaped in the nick of time. I don't know. You girls nowadays, how old are you, 15? We preen and don't put him right. You're all allowed out so late now, and I know you think you know it all, but you act so nutty sometimes. Look at you, Miss Curly. What are you going to do? No train ticket and no cash. Aha, I say, finding my ticket scrunched up at the very bottom of my purse. Found it. You're a very lucky girl, says the taxi driver, laughing. We're all three very lucky girls because the taxi driver insists on taking us all the way to Waterloo. He stops his meter when it gets to £5 and won't even take our spare change. You keep it to telephone your dads when you get off the train, he says. I hate the thought of nice girls like you wandering the streets in the middle of the night. We don't have to telephone our dads. You will never guess who we meet up with on the last train home. Mr. Windsor and his girlfriend, sitting snuggled up together. Good Lord, Ellie, Nadine and Magda, says Mr. Windsor. He looks wonderful in a V-neck long-sleeve T-shirt, black jacket and black trousers. Ultra cool. This is Miranda, he says. Miranda looks just as wonderful. Long black hair, fantastically plaited, big brown eyes, slinky figure in tiny stripy top and black jeans. Hi, are you guys students? She says, giggling. Guy. We giggle too, though Magda's giggle is a little shrill. What are you three doing out so late? Says Mr. Windsor. It's a long story, I say. We set out to go to a Claudie Coleman concert. She's this really great singer. We know, says Miranda. I'm her #1 fan. Guy and I were going to the concert too, but when she cancelled, we trekked around half London to see if there were any other likely gigs, and ended up at this amazing country do, with some sad blonde doing a Tammy Wynette impersonation. Stand by your man, I ask you. And they even started doing line dancing. Nadine winces. So, what did you girls do as a Claudie alternative? We hesitate. We shrug. Nadine looks embarrassed. Magda already looks embarrassed. It's down to me. We had a girls' night out, I say, and then I rapidly change the subject and start talking about Claudie and her songs. I can usually talk about Claudie all night long, but it's pretty heavy keeping this conversation going for the entire journey, especially as Magda and Nadine remain monosyllabic. We all get out at the same station. Mr. Windsor hesitates. How are you girls getting home? Is anyone meeting you? We're fine, I say. Mr. Windsor nods, but Miranda narrows her eyes. Does that mean you're being met or not? Not, I admit. OK, so maybe we'd better do a little taxi service, says Mr. Windsor, sighing. We're not little kids, says Magda. Of course not, Miranda says soothingly. But it can get a bit dodgy round the station late at night. I know I always wimp out if I've been up in town with my girlfriends and get Guy to pick me up from the station. So come on, please let us give you a lift, especially as you've only got 5 shoes between the 3 of you. Magda has to give in graciously. I really feel for her. It's bad enough Mr. Windsor having a girlfriend, but it's extra painful that Miranda is A, extremely pretty, and B, extremely nice. I look her over several times to try to find something to be catty about tomorrow with Magda, but draw a total blank. I stare at Mr. Windsor instead, hoping to see sudden signs of senility, so I can convince Magda she's better off without him. But his hair looks as dark and lustrous as always, and his shoulders stay square, not stooped. He asks us all our addresses and drops us off in turn. Logically, Magda should be last, but he does a little detour so that she is taken home first. Maybe he's not quite as cool about everything as he makes out. He doesn't seem to have mentioned Magda's surprise visit to Miranda. What a sweet girl. I love her hair, but she seems ever so shy, says Miranda, as Magda ducks out of the car and dives for her front door. Nadine and I nudge each other in the dark. That's the first time Magda's ever been labelled shy. Does she say much in class, Guy? Miranda insists. Oh, Magda has her moments, he says. Right, Nadine, you're next. Nadine gets delivered. She gives my hand one last squeeze to say sorry. I'm left in the car with Mr. Windsor and Miranda. So, how do you enjoy Guy's art classes? Miranda asks me chattily. Miranda, says Mr. Windsor. They're great, I say truthfully. Really, says Miranda. He was so nervous that first week of term. What year are you, Ellie? Year 9. Aha, he was particularly scared of year 9. He thought you'd give him a really hard time. Shut up, Miranda, says Mr. Windsor. Oh, darling, no need to be bashful. Anyway, he came rushing home full of the joys of spring, saying it had all gone splendidly after all. In fact, he still raves about you year 9 girls. You're a very talented bunch by all accounts. Miranda, I'm pressing my ejector seat button right this minute, says Mr. Windsor, but he's laughing. There's one really talented girl. She specialises in all these crazy cartoons, but she's great at serious portraits too. Now I wonder what her name is, says Miranda. Who? They both laugh. At me. You must realise you're Guy's star pupil, Ellie. He's always going on about you. Oh, wow, I mean, cool, I say, totally flustered but thrilled to bits. Star pupil. I'm twinkling all over in the back seat. It's surprising the entire car isn't illuminated by my stardust. I'm still sparkling when I let myself in at home. In spite of all the adventures of the evening, I'm actually back a minute before midnight, my Cinderella curfew. I kick off my remaining shoe in the hall and try to compose myself before going into the living room. Dad's sleepily watching television, and Anna is still twitching over a complicated teddy jumper with a little knitted teddy attached on a woolly string. Did you have a good time at your Claudie concert, Ellie? She asks, experimenting with the dangling teddy. I hesitate. It's simpler just to say yes. So I do. And Magda's dad picked you up okay after the concert, says my dad. Sure, I say. Anna, that teddy looks as if he's hung himself. He's too droopy. I know, but I can't work out how else I can attach it. If I try to put it in a pocket, it'll throw the whole design out of sync, and I've got to get it finished by tomorrow. It's mad you taking on all this work, says Dad, yawning. Well, I'm off to bed. Come on, Anna, sort it out tomorrow. You're exhausted. No, I've got to fix it somehow, says Anna. Hey, what about a bit of Velcro? Then you could stick the teddy to the jumper. Yes. Oh, Ellie, you're a genius, says Anna, giving me a kiss. I'm not sure I'd go that far, says Dad, giving us both a big bear hug. But you're a good girl, Ellie. I'm pleased you're being really straight with us now. No more silly lies, right? Right, I say, practically swallowing my black tongue. But it's all right. They'll never know. Famous last words. There's an item in Saturday's newspaper all about Claudie Coleman and her cancelled concert. Oh, help. Ellie? Dad thunders. I'm in for a stormy time. I can try to explain, over and over again. It gets me nowhere. Magda rings. Her mum spotted the newspaper article too. Nadine rings. Ditto her mum. We were supposed to be meeting up to go shopping in the afternoon. We are not allowed. We are not allowed out anywhere apart from school for a very long time. Russell rings. Hi, Ellie. How are you? Enjoy the concert? My dance was totally dire. I'm rather glad you weren't there. It was just so incredibly stupid and stuffy. In fact, I left early because it was so boring standing there with a whole lot of other sad guys without girls. Not that I'd have wanted any of the girls who were there. There was no one remotely like you. Ellie, so anyway, I got home early, like I said, and my dad was pleased and said he's glad I'm behaving like a responsible human being at last. So I'm not grounded anymore. We can go out on our first proper date. Tonight. Remember I said I knew where I wanted to go. How about the 7:30 showing of Girls Out even later? It's still on at the Rio. There's just one problem, Russell. Don't worry about it being scary. I'll hold your hand tight, I promise. Everyone says Girls Out Even Later is a really great film. Well, not great art, just great film. Russell, but don't worry. We don't have to see it if you really think it might upset you. We'll go anywhere you want. I can't go to Girls Out Even Later. I can't go out late myself or early. Russell, I'm in big trouble. I'm not allowed out for ages now. I explain. Russell listens, groans, tells me off for taking crazy risks, moans that we can't go out after all. So it's back to secret after-school trysts in McDonald's, he says. It looks like it. Ah, well, I suppose it can't be helped. We'll have our big night out one day, right? You bet. Good, because you mean a lot to me, Ellie. There's a little pause. I hear him swallow. Ellie? I love you. I swallow too. I glance around quickly to make sure Eggs isn't lurking. I love you too, I whisper, and then I put the phone down. I pick it up again. Who shall I phone first, Magda or Nadine? I can't wait to tell them what Russell has just said.